Welcome on in, this is Sprues and Studs, and we are continuing our lovely tour of Titan. Specifically, we are going to be looking at the very recently released Grey Knight Strike Squad, and even more specifically, we are going to be taking a look at two members of the squad, which is going to be the one with the Psycannon, as well as the one with the Psilencer. So there's nothing to do except dive on in to the review. Sons of Titan, let me see what you got. Alright, let's take a look at the Marine with the Psycannon, and as usual, we always start from top down. So we're going to be looking at the helmet area, and it looks like the helmet area is what we've seen before in other Grey Knight action figures. So you've got the nice Grey Knight silver color. However, I would have to note that the light blue undertone is kind of noticeably absent on the helmeted area of this action figure, which is slightly disappointing to me. But regardless, you have a gold skull here, the nice warm glow of the lenses right here, and then this area right here where the vents of the helmet are seems to be a little bit devoid of shading. Other than that, the helmet looks very crusade-y and very old school knight action-y. We're gonna flip around and take a look at this modified psychic hood, and as you can see, we have the blue nodes up here, and that's pretty much it. So let's take a look at the pauldron here, where we have white borders and has a red stripe that's sandwiched in the middle, and you have the characteristic Grey Knight sword that is right here, and you have the ingrained words of Kadras with lots of shading that's happening in the recesses of the lettering here. I'm going to flip around to the other side, and here you actually get to see the nice blue undertone that you find in most Grey Knights. It is more prominent on this particular pauldron, and here you have the Grey Knight's chapter symbol with the tome and the sword in the middle of its spine, and the tome has inscriptions that are ingrained into the plastic over here, and it has plenty of shading, so it makes this chapter symbol jump out a lot more. So we're now going to focus on the middle portion of this action figure. Once again, you have the Grey Knight symbol right here, and then you have more ingrained writing right here, which I'm going to assume maybe says Vindicator. And moving on down in the torso area, you have the blue glow. You have a very simple, nearly unadorned belt with a golden eye. And then the only other thing that is adorning this belt is this accessory pouch with a scroll right here. And then as we move on down to the lower half of this action figure, you have Warrior ingrained on the right side, and then Angel ingrained over here with this banner, and there happens to be two purity seals as well. So you flip around in the back, let's take a look at it. It is completely unadorned, so we're going to put the body of this Grey Knight down and take a look at the Psycannon. Yeah, this handle, there's something to be said about this handle, as it is very excited to be reviewed right now. So the Psycannon has pretty much three different colors on it. It is predominantly silver right here. There is red casing, as well as a golden skull right here. There's a very large magazine on the side of the Psycannon, and you cannot remove this magazine. It is completely static. And then we're going to put this down and take a quick look at the backpack. The backpack is your standard Grey Knight backpack. You've got a golden skull in the middle of it, purity seal, some subtle light blue undertones, and that's pretty much it. So we're going to now take a look at the one with the Psilencer. Okay, let's take a look at the one with the Psilencer, and once again, with the top of the helmet, there isn't too much blue glow. I would have liked to see some blue glow on these higher areas over here. At least the lenses are nice and blue. Let's take a look at the pauldron over here, and it says Hosea. The interesting thing is this pauldron is a little bit different. You see this red zippered area right here, and it is slightly different from the other action figure that we saw. It does have the characteristic white sword that is screened on, and it looks like the screening is a little bit blurry over here. So the Hosea has shading in the midst of it right here, and then there's a purity seal. Flipping over to the other side, once again, some things that we have seen before. You have your Grey Knight symbol. So as we look in the middle section of this action figure, once again, more Grey Knight's iconography with the chapter symbol right here. Once again, more shading, and this scrawl is all engraved in. And moving on down to the belt area, there is a prominent belt buckle with an eye and lots of noticeable blue glow right here. But the torso area is completely unadorned as we flip around to the other side. There is no accessories whatsoever, so this guy is rather plain looking. Then as we take a look at the lower half of this action figure, there is blue glow at the very tops of the armor, right here, and on the knees. And then you have another Grey Knight symbol right here, and then a purity seal. And then down here at the lowest point of this action figure, you have the ingrained words that says Avenge, and then Smite on the other side. And this is one thing that's slightly unfortunate that just fell off. You can super glue this right now. So let's take a look at the silencer. Once again, this follows the motif of the Psycannon, where you have the business part of it is silver. The casing of it is red. The nice thing about this part of the action figure is that it has a lot more going on. As you can see that there's some silver wires. There's a black wire that's running down. There's also this cool looking soft plastic sword that is dangling down from this particular hose. There's a red hose that's connecting the silencer to the body of this action figure. And just when I was praising JoyToy for having detachable weapons, they go ahead and make this silencer completely attached to the body of this action figure, which is kind of a disappointment to me. And we're going to take a quick look at the backpack and see if we can spot any differences. It doesn't look like there's too many differences, except that there is a banner in the middle of this backpack. There's still the same purity seal. So that is the review of these two action figures. Let me close this one out with my final thoughts. And there you have it, folks. The two members of the Strike Squad have been reviewed. Let me know what you think of them in the comments section below. And this is where I'm going to tell you what I think about these action figures. Well, I find these guys to be, I don't know, a little bit plain, a little bit dull. It's just that the overall design of these action figures, they don't seem to have a lot of adornments on them. They just look kind of flat compared to all the other action figures that have been released. Maybe it's because we've been looking at special characters too much, or maybe we're looking at Primarchs a little bit too much. But yeah, I kind of think that these guys are just okay looking. I mean, I do like the general design of the Psycannon as well as the silencer. They look very interesting and very unique in my opinion. There's also the unfortunate design of the two handles of them, which I am definitely not a big fan of. They definitely look a little bit too familiar to us men, I believe. I do thoroughly enjoy the bright silver armor, and then you get to see that lovely warm blue glow as an added accent to the armor. And I also do like the helmets on these action figures, as they look legitimately like old school knight helmets, especially this guy over here. So would I recommend getting these two action figures? Well, if you are definitely a Grey Knights fan, obviously this is going to be kind of a no-brainer for you. This is definitely going to be a must-buy. If you are strapped for cash in a regular just Space Marine collector, I think I probably would pass on these, in my opinion. So if you are interested in procuring these action figures, please click on the link in the description below, where you will be directed to Flamatoy, where I get all my action figures. And please use the code SNS to receive 12% off of your purchase. And with that being said, I thank you all for joining, and I'll see you all in the next one.